When you think of a quitter, what do you think? Because I believe that quitting makes you a better version of yourself. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Ignite the World podcast. This is episode number 30, Quitters Win. I am your host, Jamie Dottie Garza. Thank you for tuning in. And today I'm going to be talking about quitting. The Lord has been speaking to me immensely over this past week. And oftentimes, let me ask you guys, when you think of a quitter, what do you think? More than likely, you don't envision maybe a champion. You maybe think of someone who didn't reach or didn't live to their potential. They didn't go the extra mile. They didn't handle business, right? Because most of the times, I know for me, it was like in coaches growing up, don't quit, never quit, right? But I want to change that narrative. And the more that I let God mold me and use me as a vessel, the more I realize the certain things I'm sharing now. And I want to elaborate on the thought that's been with me during this whole week, and that's quitting. And honestly, the power of quitting, because I believe that quitting makes you a better version of yourself. For example, over the past time, 34 years old, I've quit a lot of things to make me the man I am today and the man that I want to be and the example I want to lead, not only to my children, but hopefully the community as well in this world. From quitting cigarettes, quitting alcohol, quitting relationships, toxic relationships around me, quitting eating meat to be a better version of myself, quitting fornication, quitting lust, quitting my 9-to-5 job in 2012, trusting that everything would work itself out and I can live more in my purpose. You see how quitting made me a better person. And that's why I wanted to create this episode, because oftentimes out there, we live in a world where quitting doesn't go appreciated. But what if I told you that maybe quitting a certain stronghold or quitting something that's keeping you in bondage or holding you back is a thing you need and the lesson you need to learn to excel and keep igniting forward. And that's what my mission is on. Over the past few weeks, of course, I'm creating these podcasts, but my mission is bigger. And I've been someone, I love the world. Not gonna lie, in my 20s and going into my teens, into my 20s, I became someone who loved the world and did worldly things. And with that, I have a lot of experiences. And God has been putting in my soul to convey these messages and share it with the world. And I have been. So over the past few weeks, I've been making separate videos on the YouTube channel at Let's Ignite the World. If you're listening and not subscribed, go check it out. But I've been making videos on quitting alcohol, how I got addicted to alcohol, 3 tips to stop drinking alcohol. I've also been creating videos around quitting cigarettes, quitting nicotine, which are things that swarm my life for many years. And I've been able to quit that and really become a better version of myself. Not only for myself, but for you guys, for my kids, for my wife, for my family, for my friends, for my community. And I'm going to keep that going. I'm going to share everything that I've been through and what I've quit to become a better person, because quitting is hard. You know, sometimes we think, oh, I'm going to just quit. I quit. Immediately I think of, I'm a wrestling nerd, but I think about when The Rock was versus Mankind in the I Quit match. And Mankind was not trying to say I quit, because if you say I quit, you lose. But he was getting hit chair shot after chair shot. This is like this is in an era where headshots with a steel chair was the norm. They didn't have constrictions like they do now, where you can't take a headshot because, that's gonna mess up your head. They've done studies, but he didn't want to say I quit because it's hard to quit. It's hard to quit. It's hard to make that decision and say I quit, even though sometimes we think like, you know what, I quit this. It's easy. It's hard, and it's hard standing on that, and it's hard trusting yourself with that decision and making that change. If it's something that you've been holding on to, that may be, I don't know, may be peace for you. It may be a coping mechanism for you. It may be a lot of things of whatever you're trying to quit. Quitting that job when you know God has gifted you with a bigger purpose than what you're serving right now. You know you've been chosen, but it's like, hey, I got to keep this job even though I'm not satisfied here, even though I feel something in my side that's just pushing me to do more. Staying there because, yes, it does pay the bills, but you're scared to take that, say I quit, and go into the unknown. Or maybe you were like me, who associated drinking alcohol with a good time, with coping with all the things I've been dealing with my whole life and using it as a mechanism to kind of bury that. Maybe it's like, hey, this alcohol is associated with a good time, with a stress reliever. Let's just put it on the back burner. It's hard to say I quit. And when you're going through the first days, those withdrawals and you're really going to get in your head, that's all the enemy. Ain't nothing but the enemy keeping you in bondage. And you got to go through the dark before you get to the light. But I'm the light. And I realize I've been the light for a long time, and I want to share the light with others. So if you're tuning into this podcast, I'm building a community right now called the Quitters Club. And I'm letting God lead it. I don't know all the details right now, but we starting it out. We igniting it now. So if you're listening and want to be a part of this Quitters Club community, I invite you down below in the description to click the link and sign up for a newsletter. There's going to be a lot of great news that gets unfolded as I continue to build this community for you guys and continue to speak about quitting. Because what if I told you that being a quitter is lit on the other side? Being a quitter is exactly what you need to do to be the person you want to be. All in all, as I reflect, quitting has made me the best version of myself that you guys are getting right now. Quitting is the absolute hack to my life. Quitting sin, found God. Quitting my old habits and vomit has really taught me discipline. It's taught me to love more. It's taught me to become more. Quitting fornication, even quitting watching horror movies. I used to love horror movies. But I realized, and it's in the Bible too, I can't remember the exact scripture, but I realized what you see affects you. I don't want to see all the people getting killed, all the blood, all the gore, all the demonic things in a horror movie. I'd rather not. I'm protective of my eyes, protective of my ears. I am a hip-hop head. I'm someone who loved hip-hop. That's the first song that made me fall in love with hip-hop, which is Dr. Dre, Ain't Nothing But a G Thing, Baby. That was like, 1993? Hearing my uncle's blast, NWA, Dr. Dre. And that led me to loving hip-hop all throughout my life. I still love hip-hop, but I'm very picky on what I choose to listen to. Oftentimes now I catch myself listening to the clean version. I'm also someone who loved trap music, drill music, but I realized a lot of that was demonic. So I'm protecting my ears, because that's energy attracting. So again, these are things I've been quitting. Look what quitting can do. I'm just a messenger though. And I just wanted to share this message with you guys. I challenge you all who are listening out there to evaluate your life, evaluate your day-to-day, and evaluate what you can quit that can potentially make you a better version of yourself. If you've been thinking about quitting something, this is your calling now. I am talking to you right now. You guys stay blessed by the best, and remember, we are all like sticks of dynamite. The power's on the inside, but nothing happens until the fuse gets lit. Ignite the world.